Hi everyone, welcome to the program. Every once in a while a very special coin comes on the market, sometimes out of nowhere, and it just blows your mind. This is an 1825 over 4 over 1 $5 gold piece in proof 67 cameo with a CAC sticker. Now this coin recently showed up. It's been off the market since the 1970s. And actually, the last auction appearance for this coin was in 1954. This is the only double-sided proof 1825 half eagle. There are two others of the same die variety that are considered one-sided proofs. Now, what does that mean? When these coins were made, this is very early in American numismatic history, and these type of coins sort of were made by the mint master or the chief coiner, sort of like kind of goofing around, just seeing, let's see what we can create. What they would do, they would take a planchet and a die, they would polish the planchet, and they would take the die and polish the die so that it was deeply mirrored. And in this case, they just polished the obverse, so you have a one-sided proof. And the thinking behind that is that, collectors can only display a coin one way, and that is, usually the date side up. So there's no reason to have to polish the back side. Now, of course, this coin that's offered here does have highly polished front and back, as opposed to the other ones. The other ones have a polished obverse, and then the reverse is just a really high-grade mint state, frosty, lustrous instead of brilliant. So that's the big difference there. Now this image is provided by the Professional Coin Grading Service. They recently graded this coin proof 67 cameo, and again it has a CAC sticker. This coin is coming up for sale in August at the following the ANA convention. It's going to be sold by Stack's Bowers. Now what's really cool about this coin is you really don't have an opportunity to buy the other two, at least not yet. One of the other examples is in the Smithsonian. It's also a very high-grade example. Jeff Garrett, who viewed the coin many, many years ago, graded it specimen 67. John Danruther has also examined it, and he considers it to be a one-sided proof. The third example is in the Harry Bass Foundation. Now that had been locked up in the American Numismatic Association Museum for many years following Harry Bass's death. And the museum display at the Colorado Springs headquarters of the ANA was just incredible. If you have been out there, you know what I'm talking about. If you've never been there, you missed something very special, because what he did was he kept back die varieties for most of the American gold coins. He kept back a complete set of $3 gold pieces, including the unique 1870S and other type coins. It was just a really phenomenal collection. And that now is going to be sold coming up soon. John Danruther is brokering, or not brokering, but assisting in the sale of that collection. And I believe Heritage was recently announced that they're going to be handling the collection. So that's a big event. So all of a sudden, we've got these two coins that have never been on the market for decades, and yet collectors are now going to have an opportunity to buy one of each. The Bass specimen, I believe Danruther called it a proof 64. Also a one-sided proof, so it's not quite as nice as the example illustrated here, but it's going to bring a lot of money anyway. Now, what is this coin worth? It's a unique proof, double-sided proof, the only one known of the 1825 over 4, which is a rare date to begin with. Even the mint state examples, there's only about 12 to 15 known, so it's an incredible rarity just off the bat, and to find it in proof is even more incredible. My guess is that this coin is going to bring a couple $1 million. It could bring $2 to $5 million. So we'll see in a couple weeks how much it actually brings. The pedigree that Stack's Bowers assigned to this coin was also the same pedigree that Danruther assigned to the Bass coin. So there obviously only one can be right. And if you do a little bit of plate matching or matching of the images to the catalogs, it looks like this coin is the one that goes all the way back to the Lauren G. Parmalee collection. Now, Parmalee bought the coin from George Seavey, who had a big collection of coins that was coming up for sale. And actually, Parmalee didn't just buy this coin. He bought the entire collection before it came up for auction. They ended up canceling the auction, and Parmalee integrated the coin and all the other ones into his collection, which was eventually sold in 1890 by the New York Stamp and Coin Company. This coin in 1890 sold to the dealer Charles Steigerwalt, who ended up selling it to William H. Wooden. Now, William H. Wooden is very famous among pattern collectors because he's the one that handled the $50 gold unions, and ended up, the government was not happy about that. They wanted them back. So in return, Wooden got supposedly a trunk full of U.S. patterns. And that formed the basis for the Adams-Wooden pattern books, which were the standard reference on pattern coins until Judd came out with his, a few decades later. After William Wooden owned this coin, it went to the collection of Waldo Newcomer. Now, Waldo also had a phenomenal collection. He had an almost complete variety set of $5 gold pieces, which he was particularly proud of, and he had all kinds of other incredible coins. But you really don't hear too much about Waldo Newcomer's collection because it never went to auction. B. Max Mell handled the sale of the coins while Newcomer was still alive. And at one point he announced that he was going to sell the collection at auction, but that never took place. And instead he piecemealed the collection out to various collectors. Like, for instance, Colonel Green purchased the $5 variety set and numerous other coins. But we don't really hear too much about Waldo Newcomer or the phenomenal collection that he built because it never appeared at auction. If it had, it would have been a record breaker at the time, and we would know a lot more about what was in the collection and why it was so important for the time. After Colonel Green, it went to Colonel James Flanagan and ended up in an auction in March 1944 by Stax. The purchaser of the coin there was a man named Jacob Shapiro, and he sold his collection just a few months later in December of 1944 under the name J.F. Bell. That was a pseudonym for Shapiro. The buyer of this coin in the Shapiro sale or the Bell sale was Louis Eliasberg. He's famous for having completed a set of United States coins every date and mint mark. He already had another one, and so he had to choose, which one do I want to keep? Well, apparently he sold this one because it ended up in a sale of his duplicates in October 1947 in a sale named H.R. Lee. H.R. Lee was the Eliasberg pseudonym. And why he chose the other coin, which was a mint state example, over this one, it just kind of boggles the mind because this is an incredible proof coin. It's graded higher than the coin that Eliasberg kept. So that's one of numismatics' great mysteries, why he sold it. Anyway, the buyer at the H.R. Lee sale of the Eliasberg duplicates was King Farouk of Egypt. Now, Farouk had the treasury of the Egyptian government at his disposal, and he went out and bought all kinds of stuff. He collected automobiles, and he loved coins. And he put together a phenomenal collection of U.S. coins, including incredible rarities like the only legally owned 1933 20, the 1907 $20 Indian head gold piece by St. Gaudens, so-called Teddy's coin. But Farouk got in trouble, and he was eventually deposed, and his collection was sold by Sotheby's in 1954. From there, this coin went to Saul Kaplan, and then to Dr. John Wilkeson, who is very famous for putting together the finest collection of gold patterns ever assembled. It's believed that this coin then went through A-Mark to the Makata Metals collection, and they're the consigners of the coin today. Supposedly, this coin was sold to Makata, into the Makata collection in 1973. So it's been off the market over 50 years, and if you count the fact that it hasn't appeared at auction since 1954, that's almost 70 years that it's been off the market. So for this thing to show up all of a sudden and burst onto the numismatic scene is really an incredible numismatic event, and there's going to be tremendous competition for this coin from a couple of well-heeled collectors. This is what we call a trophy coin. It's one that, transcends price, transcends rarity. I mean, it's just an incredible coin that someone is going to really want to own, and it's going to cost them dearly, but it's also a once-in-a-lifetime coin. We'll see in a couple of weeks what this coin brings, but in the meantime, I wanted to bring it to your attention. You can see the coin on the Stax Bowers website. They've already posted the auction that's coming up, and I'll provide a link to it, and I'll also provide a link to the coin that's in the Smithsonian. I'm not allowed to show the picture there without copyright permission, and I just didn't have time to get that before I put it here, but I'll put a link to the coin so that you can actually see it yourself. They have a very nice photograph of the coin on their website. And of course, the Bass coin, I'll include a link to that. The Bass coin, the photograph it's okay, but you don't really see the full brilliance of the obverse, but it's very clear from that photograph the reverse is definitely mint state. So hopefully you'll enjoy those three coins, and maybe you'll be the new owner of this one, this Proof 67 when it comes up later in August. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video. If you like videos like this, please hit the subscribe button, and certainly hit the notification bell so that when I post a new video, you'll get a notification from YouTube that there's a new video for you to watch. I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm going to be posting, and I have started posting videos much more frequently, like almost once a day. Check back. And if you have any questions about numismatics in general, write them down, read questions in the comments below. And if there's something that you'd like to see, some topic or a particular coin in numismatics, put that information down below too. So anyway, thank you very much for coming around, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.